also we hear. I think, but I think it is joke.
And I thought that was kind of strange.
I think, sorry, but
Kim Jong-un.
I don't know why they are doing that.
We're not allowed to take any photos of North Korea, even though, it was right in front of us.
I mean, is that true? Is it not true? They're so scared to go over there. I'm not. I'll go to North Korea.
After this interview, we don't get to the jail.
Yes, we know about North Korea. It's very closed country and very authority leader, строгий лидер of country. Закрытая страна, пустые улицы, все.
I think it's a poor country. And also we hear they have small foods. They eat dogs. I think, but I think it is joke.
I know North Korea. It seems like such an interesting country, but not many people have been there. So what comes to mind when I think of North Korea, I think it is maybe a repressive country with a strong government that doesn't want you to speak out against it. And also, I have to say, I think about President Trump, President of the United States, who tried to make friends with North Korea. And I thought that was kind of strange.
North Korea is a closed country, so I think, sorry, but I think it's not interesting country because they're so closed and they don't communicate with another countries. South Korea I like more.
North Korea, we obviously first think of Kim Jong-un and all the communists and war-related stuff. A very poor country, and it's pretty much the opposite of South Korea, which is a very modern and happy culture compared.
Yes, also we was in TMC and they told us about a lot of North Korea, but we want to know more about North Korea, but about the conflict actually. We don't can to look at with the digital camera to the side of North Korea, and it was
it was a bit weird. We were not allowed to take any photos of North Korea, even though it was right in front of us, but it's apparently there's a bit of a conflict currently, so try not to provoke any of both sides.
Yes, I've seen it on the map and I've watched a couple of things in the news about it, and I've also saw a movie called The Interview. It was an American movie and it was about a couple of guys and they went to interview the president or whoever's in charge, Kim Jong-un. I don't know, but they had some funny stuff in there. And also I remember American President Donald Trump went there during his first term and he was very bold to meet with Kim Jong-un there and called him Rocket Man. So yeah, North Korea, I know a little about it, but not a lot.
То, что про Северную Корею, да, тут можно сказать только, что текущая политика нашего правительства как раз очень схожа с той, что есть в Северной Корее. Не зря наши страны с ней очень хорошо сотрудничают.
After this interview, we don't get to the jail.
Of course, everyone in the world knows about North Korea. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about North Korea is the president over there, Kim Jong. I personally think that North Korea is too democratic and they are too private in keeping their secrets. Even though if you search in Google, you won't find any roots or something in North Korea. It's all blocked. So they are too private. I don't know why they are doing that. And none of the outsiders are not able to go to North Korea properly. Even though they go, there is no any surety that they will come out alive. So that's the most crucial thing which I think should not happen.
We have never been to North Korea, but whatever we have heard, it is something scary. Because there is huge difference between North Korea and South Korea. Because whenever something is coming to North Korea, first of all the thing is like the democracy. Actually I don't think there is no more democracy is there. He is making the rules, he is doing whatever they want. That's open.
The only thing that we hear, obviously the news media has a Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un. Only three names we know, right? Because we never hear anything about North Korea. So we never hear anything. So all we hear is like the bad stuff. But as far as in general, obviously there was the split, the North Korean, South Korean split. There's not much though. We just kind of hear, our media says Kim Jong-un is bad. That's it. So, we can't really say, I mean, is that true? Is it not true? We don't know. Everyone's always, they're so scared to go over there. I'm not. I'll go to North Korea. Look, if Dennis Rodman can go, I can go. That's my take.
North Korea, the movie, The Interview, that comes to mind. That was a Hollywood movie, but done about North Korea. It's about how these two American journalists go to interview the North Korean president. It's a comedy.
The conflict, like the one word is conflict, right? But it's a sad conflict because it's a conflict between brothers and sisters, which is the worst kind of conflict, right? So it saddens me.
Kim Jong-un. So that's, so the first probably name so you go with. The other thing is like, I would probably say like, undeveloped, poor people. Unfortunately, the influence of back in the time of the Soviet Union probably wasn't the best thing, because as far as I know, like, so the Korea was divided for being under influence of either Soviet Union or the Americans. As far as I know, the American bases still exist in the South Korea, but at least like, it's quite highly developed country with great infrastructures and whatnot. And North Korea, once again, the authoritarian country with a dictatorship in power. That's all I could say.
Of course I know North Korea, and it's about the complex history with war with the South Korea, but for now I'm focusing more on the beauty of South Korea, and it's a fascinating country. And hopefully one day we will visit also the United Korea maybe, yeah?
Before 2 days, we went to the North Korea North Korea border, and we do some adventures, tunnels, and very difficult to go in the tunnel. There is a very big adventure. We go the family with family, and my mother-in-laws and father-in-law and my brother-in-law and my husband.
We have been told in school that North Korea, he who's ruling there is a dictator, and not much about it, but we know it's not a free country where you can do what you want and see what you want. In Norway we are a very free country where in many ways we can speak freely what we are thinking about everything, almost. So we appreciate the freedom. We are very proud of it in Norway, that we are
I do know North Korea. Mostly I've seen a lot of like memes, like people making jokes about like Kim Jong-un and Kim Jong-il. I do know like a bit about the Korean War, like 1950, like I researched a bit about that.